We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. F***ing thing sucks.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Capital Mindset Show, everyone. We are back with another live stream. I told you guys in the Discord community that we would do this. We're going to try to keep it short because I'm exhausted. But yeah, so as always, I'll go through the topics that we have today. And I guess the first one that everyone's kind of wondering is, well, the portfolio update. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that into, yeah, let me actually enable it now because now, hold on, where did I put the button? Okay, I need you. And then it should come back. Boom. All right. She is back. Okay, so if you guys go to the sheet, you can see it now again. But we shall, well, let me go ahead and bring this up over here. And I'm just setting up, guys. I just kind of hopped on. All right. I got to enable the widget. Start the widget again. So I can bring your comments up when you guys have questions. Connect, doc, chat. Boom. Once we're set up and going, we can get going. Oop, didn't mean you to come up. Get out of here. Get out of here, Windows thing. All right, cool. Okay, so you guys remember the last portfolio update? This is the longest. Oh, let's get a longest roux test. Oh, I can't do a roux. My roux is like, roux. Yeah, it's not a very good one. Okay, so let's start with the portfolio update. Let's get that out of the way because we have on the topics today, portfolio update, FTX gets worse, and then the Coffeezilla versus Spencer. So let's get at it. All right, you guys ready? Dun, da, 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 da. And boom. And I just disappeared because I need to enable this. Now I'm back. Woohoo. All right, so let's go over what's basically changed. You guys have seen, well, if you guys go check out this video, which it's no longer, the portfolio is no longer updated. It is now updated again because you guys voted on it. And under this one condition, that all of you guys just watch me live or burn. Okay, so that's all the condition. So do not, whatever you do not, copy me. We have completely different circumstances, and this is just for you to look and watch me either swim or drown, whatever you want to say. So with that being said, let's get into it. So you guys have noticed the elephant in the room, quite literally, metaphorically, whatever you want to say. It's Meta. Meta has risen in the portfolio size quite drastically. I see someone says that I did something to Meta. Yeah. Oh, don't. Ricky's joking about the YouTube index. For those of you who don't know, or anyone who's new watching this, this is the YouTube index. This is literally just the most talked about stocks on YouTube. I'm going to rebalance it every year. So starting next year, I might as well. I'm debating actually adding Meta because Meta's just talked about so much now. Unfortunately, all right, that's the one thing that makes me super hesitant on Meta is that certain people like it, but I got to stick to my guns here. All right, anyways, so Meta has actually grown in size. Google, if you guys have a keen eye, you might notice that my average cost has gone up a bit on Google, and that is because I've been buying Google. So Alphabet has been getting bought, and it's big enough purchases that it moved up the average cost. Netflix has remained flat, have not added any more to Netflix. Netflix was my largest holding, and then I boosted Google to compensate for that. It is now, Alphabet is now back to being larger than Netflix. Meta is now the largest holding in the portfolio. Perion has also been, eking out, growing and growing and growing. It is still there. It's performed really well. Intel is at a 5.6% allocation. It's done well. If anything, I might take a pull back, but you notice that Intel has been pushed up. Activision Blizzard's remained flat. Global Payments has remained flat. Unum is the one that actually is going to be remaining flat. Kind of debated taking profits there, but I'll talk about the ones that I did take profits on. Then AbbVie remained flat so far. That's on the chopping block. Aerojet Rocketdyne performing really well as of late, remained flat. Markel remained flat. Dropbox remained flat. Wells Fargo boosted up a little bit, just like a tiny, tiny bit. And then LYB has also remained flat. Celine's flat, but also kind of bumped up in performance there. Realty Income, newer entrant to the portfolio, remained flat thus far. Truist got bumped up a little bit. Let's see here. Amazon, nothing's happened there. Boston Omaha, nothing's happened there. Qualcomm, nothing's happened there. Cirrus, nothing. Advanced Micro Devices, aside from the performance since we bought it, nothing's really happened there. Warner Brothers been trimmed. BASF's, nothing happened there. Citigroup got sold. These are the ones that I'm selling, and I'll kind of go over why I sold each one. But Citigroup, Dow, Leggett & Platt, Thor Industries, Rio Tinto all got sold. Rio Tinto was a watcher position. Thor was kind of a watcher position. Leggett & Platt was also a watcher position, very small. Dow was a small position. Citigroup was the largest of those that got sold out on this side of the portfolio. And then Molson Coors, actually, I should have gotten rid of that entirely because that was updated last portfolio update. So there's nothing to say about that. If you're curious on my thoughts on there, you go to the past investments tab, and then you can click on the video in accordance with Molson Coors Brewery. So did I not link it? Okay, I got to go back and link it because Molson Coors Brewery is the one that should have been updated in the last one. So I got to update that one. But I just told you which video it is. Actually, the link is here. That's probably why I didn't do it. Yeah, because the video is there. All right, so if you click on this video here, that should be the link over there where Molson Coors should be. And that's why that link's not there. But if you click on that link, I talk about it in that video. Anyways, so why did I sell Citigroup? Well, I wanted to consolidate my bank holdings into Wells Fargo and Truist. Why did I sell Dow? Same thing with my chemical companies. Leggett & Platt, I wanted to take just the small amount out of Leggett & Platt and trying to focus it on my concentration. This is all kind of should not be a surprise to anyone. If you guys saw my last portfolio update, I stated as such that was my intention. I want to focus more on my high conviction plays. I'm done buying Meta for now, by the way. So if anyone's wondering, I am completely done buying Meta for now. And if it comes down again, I might consider adding more, but I'm right now focusing on deploying all the capital that I have coming in into various other names. So now as far as the next one, Thor Industries, sold that one because I again wanted to focus more. Kind of the same reason. Not that it's a bad company. None of these are bad companies. I didn't sell them because there's something I don't like about them. None of the bad companies. The only one that didn't really fit the narrative in my portfolio is Rio Tinto because that one was just a watcher position of a previous trade we made, or not trade, investment really, we made earlier in the year or late last year. For those of you who've been subscribed for a long time, you guys remember BHP. Well, BHP was the winner. Rio Tinto was kind of the flat performer, but BHP was a huge winner for us, up about, I think we made almost like 40-something% on that one, but Rio Tinto was just kind of there, and I was just watching it with that position. Now to the other side, there's been some carnage as far as size goes. So the ones that are on the chopping block, Coupang's on the chopping block. That one was one that performed really well when we bought it, and just it is what it is. The Prosus has kind of come back a lot. And remember, I don't like the Chinese VIEs. I hold them for a different reason. Go back and check out the December 2021 video, posted early December 2021. It has a crazy thumbnail. It's like an hour, 30 minutes long. Towards the end of that video, I tell you why I bought it. And the same goes for Baba. Baba, I'm waiting on that she pump. I'm already up on the position where I doubled that position. And when we have the she pump, that's just for fun, so you can see according to the position sizes. It's just for fun. I would never be that degenerate. And then the ones that that one should have came in. That one for some reason did not update. GLSI. Anyways, that should be fixed in I guess Monday, whenever it ports in, or sometime next week. But GLSI is gone. It's just for some reason still showing up. GLSI is gone. Rick is still there. It's just the one share. ASPS, this one is the one that is gone. And this one should be updated, or it is already updated. There it is. Sold. So ASPS was one I talked about in the last live stream with Jay Nagy. I did film a video on Sunday, but I decided not to post it. This will serve as that video. So I filmed the video on Sunday, basically kind of talking about the position because I haven't made a video of it in a long time. And it was a dedicated video to ASPS, kind of talking about what went right, what went wrong. I might end up deciding to post it. I really don't know. But the gist is, it went really well, and we sold it at just a slight bit higher than where it is right now. But, you know, basically the same price. It actually went up even further. I think, Mick Buddha, if you're watching this in the morning, we were talking about that because the day after I sold it, it went up like to 17 something, and that's after Friday. So I think it was Friday, actually. Friday is when it shot up to 17 something. And then towards the end of the day, it kind of came back down. But it is what it is. Because we were laughing about it because it was like, oh, my God, it's going to keep roaring up. All right. But anyways, that one was a good play for me. It's returned a good, decent chunk to the portfolio. Did its job well. And then NCR is remaining. Now we're actually up. I didn't even notice that. We're up on NCR. And then MPW, we're also up on that one on the speculative side. But that's basically going over all the changes. The biggest stuff is happening on the core side of the portfolio. And then, of course, I'll mention it here again, that remember the portfolio only shows the stocks. It does not show options. It does not show specialty products. And so for those of you who kind of were joking, I saw Nash was not in here, but he was saying he wanted to see the phase 2. I tweeted a joke about phase 2. But phase 2 is kind of a joke that I want to explain. So when you hear me say it, you know what I'm referring to. And it's basically, we went through the first phase of the liquidity crunch this year, positioned my portfolio what I believe accordingly, and we did quite well this year. And now the joke is we're entering phase 2. So what does phase 2 mean? It's perhaps betting on some form or another that we're going to see some yield contraction. And then if that were the case, I will invest in various products that I don't want to discuss on YouTube because I don't think that as investors or YouTube, it's a place for that. But you guys can find out what it is. A lot of you guys already know what it is, and I have some plays in that direction as well. So let's see. That pretty much covers the portfolio update. If you guys have any questions, I'll kind of take a quick pause. And Ethan, so good question. I see a good question. Do you have a relatively high cash position? So those in the community saw that there was a change about 2 weeks ago where my wife and I decided we're not going to look out for rental properties. We had a decent cash pile designated for real estate. And then we said, okay, well, we don't really want to deal with the hassle maybe and call it, you could say recency bias, but we felt like we're doing pretty well enough in the markets. It is a down year, but we've actually eked out a positive performance. And I went over that with you guys in the last update. But yeah, recency bias could have a play in it, and we decided we should allocate that capital elsewhere. And we would rather have the freedom and non-hassle, let's say, of investing in rental properties. Of course, we could probably generate a really good return, whatever, but it is, a bit more hands-on, you could say. And especially, we don't want to invest in a market that's outside of where we live. So, and we want to have that flexibility that we can just travel, not really have to worry too much about, this happened to the house, that happened to the house, just leave it alone. So we decided to do that, and because of that, it was basically like I got handed a nice big bag of candy, and the market also was down, so it was a really good point. So anyways, any update regarding the model release? Okay, so we're working really hard on that, Lord Slayer, but not a definite time frame. So, but good news is I'm adding a bunch of new features. I've added several new features. I've actually added some sort of, let's call it a fancy term. I created an AI that evaluates stocks on my behalf. And I use it here and there to kind of gauge what is the market pricing it into a stock. And it's supposed to be returning to me more or less the close to the price point of at any given day of where the stock is trading right now with all available public information. And so it kind of determines that. And that's how I've been back testing it. I haven't shown it in a video yet because I've been back testing it and going stock by stock by stock by stock by stock, What I notice is if it's a micro cap or nano cap, it starts to enter a gray area. But if it's a heavily covered stock, medium cap, large cap, stuff like that, it seems to be pretty on point at any given time. So it looks like that's going to be set for at least my use, and then it'll be a feature later down the road. Okay, so. But I have no idea. Just want to say thanks for being consistent and reliable, Fabio. Always trying to keep company late night. Yeah, no worries. I'm glad we're hanging out here and stuff. But so am I crazy for throwing some money into BTC ETH right now? LOL. Seems like they may be an additional unwinding in the next few days. I mean, for me, we've talked about that because some of you have considered playing that cryptocurrencies as kind of another way to play, let's say, rates. I feel like that's unnecessary risk, but I understand why some of you have that theory or thesis, right? I understand it. I'm not going to follow you in that. I'm also like, just like I invest in something and I encourage everyone just to sit back and watch, me either drown or swim. I'll do kind of the same with you in a friendly way. I don't want you guys to lose money doing that. If you guys end up doing that, whoever ends up doing that within the community, but I'll be the one I'll just watch and I'll hope for you to swim, but and then I'll hope you make a ton of money. So no, I'm not saying no, you dumbass. That's not what I'm saying. No, because like you can make the theory or the thesis is that if we see some sort of change, we might see a change in investor sentiment, and a lot of people, like, you're basically playing almost like I don't know, like you're using behavioral finance to justify the I don't know if that's the reason for you, but like when I was talking to someone else who was giving me their thesis behind it, I think it kind of came down to behavioral finance, I think. But anyways, you're not the first one to actually think that, putting a small amount in there. So there's someone who has their thesis is they're gonna kind of stagger the investment, and the smallest part will be into some crypto assets, and then one into like a leveraged special financial product that will remain unnamed because it's degenerate. And then another one that's a financial product that is not that degenerate, TLT, that's the 20-year plus. You guys already, who are from the Discord community, you guys already know the names of all these products, but I mean, it is what it is. Okay, so D's nuts. What is my percent return since 2019? Go check out the video, the last one, but it's pretty much the same. It's actually boosted up a little bit because of Meta's recent performance. But if you want to go check that out and see the photos and stuff. And by the way, I had to redo one of the photos live because someone asked for a different comparison. You can check out that video. But it's around 60-something percent, mid-60s% since 2019. But that's since actually late 2019. So if you actually included 2019, I'd have to remove some of the accounts in that count. But, it is what it is. So let's see here. But good question, these nuts. I love the name, by the way. Nice 30%. Okay, so if no more questions about the portfolio, we'll close this off and we'll go over. But you guys can ask a question later down the line. Let's see through this. Actually, by the way, Elemental Tamago, you're saying Meta pumped after. No. Meta pumped after Joseph Carlson talked bad about it. That's the truth. You go look at the video the day he released the video when he was like not happy about Meta. That was the bottom. That was literally the bottom. So yeah. Someone said you can clone the portfolio, but you can't clone the conviction. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is very true. Interesting you got out of Dow. I'm almost finished selling my Dow and moving to DuPont. Oh, seriously? Well, yeah, it's because it wasn't really, I want to focus. So a lot of these positions, I'm going to be looking for the door. So Warner Brothers Discovery, I'm going to be looking for the door in the next couple days. It's going to help me a little bit with tax loss harvesting, but it was a small part of the portfolio. So it's not really going to do much, but it's still something that I can count against the realized gains of this year. And Boston Omaha, I'll tell you the ones I'm keeping, but they're going to be reduced sizes. But they're not going to take too much of my focus. Like Boston Omaha, Markel, those are staying. I'm trying to skim through this. Dropbox is one that there's a play to that. There is a play to that for me. But Jesus, you're 30%. Yeah, that's what I said. This is why I stopped the portfolio initially, because I was gonna do something. I was going to change up the portfolio again, reallocate the strategy, and I did this in late 2021 as well. And then now we're at the end of 2022, so I'm readjusting strategies here. And so the strategy worked for this year. Let's see if it works for the next couple years, because it could just be this could be a terrible mistake, which is why I stopped the portfolio updates, because no one should follow me on this. This could be just my mistake. So I just tell you, please. Let this just be my mistake. Don't drown with me. Yeah, front of it is right. Thesis changed on a couple holdings. Now that the clown market is roaring, I will sell them and reallocate. I'm not saying that it's because of the clown market. That's not why. Fabio has his Meta Googles on. Yeah, no. I'm also, but the thing is, I'm still accumulating Alphabet. What's happening? So I said this in the beginning of the stream, so I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm accumulating still more shares of other stocks. I'm done with Meta. So you should see, unless Meta keeps going up in price, you should see Meta's percentage change go down unless it goes too quickly up in price. So the percentage of the portfolio should go down. And I'll tell you, I will rebalance if it rises too quickly. I'll take some profits off the table considering its size. If it was a smaller part of the portfolio, so let's say like ASPS, it was a smaller part of the portfolio. So for me mentally, it's easier for me not to take profits. Just how it is, because I'm not too worried about, the day-to-day fluctuations. I'm fine with it. But if Meta rises too quickly, of course, mentally, it's going to make me a little bit uneasy not to take profits off the table. So I would probably do that. So, if you're asking for a number, I don't know, like if we roared up to let's say 200 very quickly over a short period of time, I would. But for example, Netflix did so. It's up 54.23% since we bought it this year. And I haven't taken a single share out of the portfolio. I'm kept every single one. But if it roared to I don't know, I'm just making up a number, 400, 500, I'd be like, okay, chill out. And then I would bring that down. But otherwise, remember, I've learned my lessons, or one of the lessons I have learned, and I still have many more lessons to learn, is don't play with the soap as much as possible. Usually that's actually a detriment to your performance. That's what I found. And so luckily for some positions, I haven't, like Alphabet, never play with the soap. And, I've only accumulated more Alphabet. And technically, as a percentage ownership, it's been increasing because they've been doing buybacks. But anyways, and if there are no more questions, any plans on Amazon? Well, I can't just buy Amazon whenever I want, actually. But Amazon, if it were to come down, I would really like to. But there's windows where I can buy Amazon. I can't just buy Amazon whenever I wish. Unum, I thought, yes. So I talked about it in a non-recorded call for those of you participating. We ended up talking about insurance companies. And that was the plan originally, to sell Unum. But I decided not to take profits on Unum. I'm going to keep it, take the dividends, and then just start accumulating those dividends and reinvest accordingly. So that's where I'm at with Unum. I do have some shares that are probably going to be called for me. And so I always try to highlight that because I feel like YouTubers only show or talk about the good call options. And so the time that I sold some Unum call options, I sold 15 contracts on Unum. I made a video about it. And those, I had a strike price, I think, of either 37 or 35. Either way, I'm underwater on them. And then so what's going to happen is I still am going to make a large gain on it of over 100%, or I think just at 100%. But, it's still a loss in terms of the potential gain because it's basically stuck at that price. And if Unum's, let's say, $50, I have to sell it, or I'm going to be called on those shares. And I'm not going to buy them back or buy back the contracts. It's not worth it to me. Now, there was one position where I did buy back the contracts, which was AGRD. So I did share those. I sold 52 contracts of AGRD on the position, covered calls. And that one, one of you did the same thing, but at a different strike price. And we were both talking back and forth because we're like, I guess, AGRD bros here. And we were looking at the news that came out that they were going to get acquired, which was the very next day we wrote our calls, which was like completely unexpected. Again, part of the risk of doing this. Now, we were still in a win-win situation either way because we would have sold at a gain. But we wanted to eke out that extra performance from the potential acquisition. And then I did the math, and in that case, it was worth it for me to buy back the contracts, take the L there, write it off against my income, and then hold it on. And already now I've made up for it in the unrealized gain had I not bought back those contracts. So it's a bit of an analysis you do. And we were selling contracts on AGRD many times throughout this year. So in a way, I'm writing off that loss against a lot of income that I made from the selling covered calls. So, but I generally don't like to encourage covered calls or anything like that. I feel like, again, there's a specific YouTube channel that, now they're just trying to hide behind their covered calls as if that's like where all the performance should be coming from. And they're rightfully so underwater on most of them, as much as their audience has kind of caught on, right? So, yeah. I really hope Meta pulls a Baba and then just stays down for a while. That would be actually good because for me, I'm patient, right? So I'm perfectly fine if Meta takes a while for it to play out. I'm happy with the shares or with the prices I got on the new shares of Meta. And for me, I've stated as much. You guys can check out the video. I'm not going to make an update video on Meta for a long time. I'm not that type of YouTuber. I'm not going to make a pump video talking about the stocks that I own all the time. If I made that video, I think that video will have basically, unless something big changes, but it should age in accordance and there shouldn't be much change. Otherwise, then what was the point of the investment? Like you're basically always, there's something new all the time about your stock. No, not really, but there are things that happen. Super impressed with GPN as I've been studying management. What are your thoughts about the business growing via mostly M&A? So usually that's a deterrent, but with this management, as you've actually been doing your research, you've probably noticed that they've had a pretty good track record. So I actually trust their management. I don't usually trust management with empire building. I don't think they're considered, or I don't consider them doing the empire building-esque stuff, which what I say with that is like, think of AT&T. That's what I think of when I think empire building. Keitham Rahman, so the thesis on AGRDs pretty much for me almost all played out. So I have videos on AGRD back in the day. You can check them out. And some people from our community actually subscribed to me because of AGRD, because they were actually looking for a stock. I think Will, if you're watching, yeah, that's for you. I remember you were telling me that the other day when we were on a call together. And it was a video. Those videos didn't get many views. And it was just after the Lockheed Martin failure of the merger, we did an analysis on the channel about AGRD. So there's all these other assets that they house in the company, this real estate portfolio that they have that has an unknown marketable value, not just talking about the book value, because you do your own due diligence and you see the book value, but you don't know what the market value is. So that's like a potential value add. And then you also have the underlying business, which is pretty good. In and of itself, it controls about 70% of the solid-state rockets in the world for military usage, in the West, let's say that. And then on top of that, you have, let's say, the war going on. That was, that was unforeseen, but, it was still like a bit of a benefit to at least the sentiment around the stock. And by the way, that stock alone has outperformed the market, even after that negative news. Well, a lot of the military stocks have actually outperformed the market this year. Actually, I think all of them have outperformed the market this year. I don't think there's a single one that I know of that has underperformed the market. There might be one, but anyways. Can you move the comment off the whole? Oh, yeah, sorry about that. So here you go. Oh, actually, let me do this so I can just move it. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, down there. All right, cool. Okay, let's see. But just to be clear, my favorite business that's on here is still Alphabet. It's just the price that compels me to buy and allocate my capital. Now, again, as more capital is deployed, you're probably going to see Alphabet maybe begin to rise. Hopefully, if the price is offered to me better. Otherwise, I'm kind of going to be patient. This is where I'm at. But you can kind of see what what's gone about. I'm going to start to trim down some of the other positions and then reallocate accordingly. Now, Amazon, I really want to bring it back to its former glory in terms of size, but yeah, I don't know when I'll do that. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to move on to the next topic. So the next topic, and I'm going to go away from this for a second, is FTX, right? So a lot of you I saw were joking, and the joke is like, oh, plot twist, Fabio's portfolio is entirely FTX or all in FTX. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, so the FTX debacle, I want to actually share with you guys a community post from a while ago. So if you guys don't know, I do have content talking about the crypto brokers. I've talked about them in the past, and I've warned about their risks. And so we looked at, for example, Voyager Digital as a microcosm of the rest. And Voyager Digital, unlike FTX, was publicly traded. So we were able to see through some of their financial statements. And what I pointed out in the long video, we actually went over an earnings call, and it was kind of rosy. And at the end, you know, it was because it was requested a lot. And I guess it's because, you know, we had people like Financial Education Jeremy and a couple other YouTubers all basically saying that this company was a phenomenal company. I made jokes about how a lot of people had, for some reason, a thesis that the CEO came from E-Trade. You guys remember that? That's absolutely ridiculous that, you know, people actually use that as a reason to be bullish on the stock. Yeah, sure, experience is all well and good, but come on, man. I don't know about that. So the one thing I want to actually showcase is, and I'm still very proud of this because this was actually, there were people who pushed back on that video. And you can go back and see the old Voyager Digital videos and see if anyone or their comments are still there. But there were some people who pushed back on saying that, you know, their money's not actually in any danger, and I'm spreading kind of some FUD. But this was a comment I did receive back in the day, about 4 months ago, and I posted it on the community because guys, like, okay, so now hindsight 2020, but I did post it on the community, and you guys can see it on my tab because, of course, it's still there. So this person who is part of the community watched the video and then joined the Discord, and we were talking about it. And you can see they sent me this nice message, and it was you know, it's very nice that the video did help out that person, but because there's a lot of people that didn't get to see those videos, and you know, I don't know, because in Voyager Digital, because it was publicly traded, we could see and we could look at all the counterparty risk that was there. There were many issues on top of just kind of on the surface, which you didn't need to watch my videos to kind of determine there was an issue. One thing that could have just caught you or saved you right off the bat is realizing that there's absolutely no way that it was sustainable to support a 9% interest on any account, that there was something going on there. So, you know, just thinking logically about that could have saved someone. Didn't have to watch videos. But, however, if someone had watched those videos, I would have, you know, hopefully broke it down in an easy to understand manner. Although I also get that the video is an hour and 30 minutes long, and it was excruciatingly boring because I didn't have any flashing lights or, you know, jingling keys or anything like that. It's kind of just you have to watch the whole thing. You know, you could say that too. But yeah, so FTX, now we are finding out that they were hacked and now they don't have their assets anymore. Because what happens is when you go under bankruptcy, and that was something we discussed in the video, is your money is going to be locked up and it's going to wait or wait for the bankrupt. Now, this is actually really interesting. I haven't looked or caught up into what's been going on, but I talked about it in the last video how Voyager Digital was acquired, or their assets were acquired by FTX, because Almeida Research was heavily involved with Voyager Digital. So now that Voyager Digital is bankrupt, FTX was able to acquire their assets for basically pennies on the dollar. And this is, I mean, changing the ownership structure or changing up who owns the trash doesn't make the new thing not trash, which was kind of another thing that I don't know. So I implored everyone in the last video, and the reason why you have all these YouTubers' faces on here is I said in the last topic on FTX, you should please remember the people that did it. And what they did is, okay, so there's a point of personal responsibility Yes, absolutely, right? Because I'll tell you, like, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. You do you, and I'll do me. Just like how I show this portfolio here to you, you do you, and I do me. But there's a sense where you know that this product, it's questionable at best, right? It didn't make sense to begin with. And I know that Coffeezilla said no one was talking about this, but no, there were plenty of people that were talking about it. You can see that Strongman echoes from above. Coffeezilla himself actually talked about it. He had a content, I think, 6 months ago. So 6 months ago, talking about statements made by the CEO of FTX that were basically describing it as a Ponzi scheme, because it was. You had other creators all saying basically the same thing. So it was a movement, but you had the ones that were, of course, sponsored by it and moved by the money. And I don't think they're that dumb, maybe, although some of them might be, but I don't think they're that dumb to not see that there was an inherent problem with it. Now, the argument that I've seen laid out, and let's kind of think about this for a second. The argument that I've seen laid out is, well, there were institutional money behind this, and therefore, that alleviates, responsibility and stuff like that. And I think legally, I don't really know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what the legal responsibility is. There might not be any legal responsibility, okay, because I don't know. Maybe it's a wild, wild west type of space. But because if you go to a bank, by the way, and you talk to someone who works at that bank, and then they talk to you about a product, they disclose all the stuff, even if it's a bank account, by the way. So they tell you it's a bank account. Like, you open a brokerage account, they give you like the things to sign, and you have to acknowledge that you could lose all your money. Well, with FTX, it's seemingly like, I didn't see any of those disclosures verbally stated. And I feel like, maybe if there's something that needs to be changed, it should be something like that at the very least, But anyways, I don't know. So the reason why their faces are up there is because it's so that, people, you guys should all just remember, you guys are voting with your clicks, with your views, with your likes, dislikes, all that, comments, you guys are voting. And so those people that did that claim to understand, certain things, they did that. And they're probably going to get away with it. If I'm being honest, the pessimistic side tells me that they're going to get away with it, because YouTube at the end of the day is entertainment, right? It's I don't know. Because originally, Capital Mindset was started because a friend of mine was watching Financial Education Jeremy. And you guys know that, when we did that tier list of YouTubers, right? You guys noticed, I don't really know many of the YouTubers. I don't really know much of finance YouTube. Now I do, because I'm in this world. And it's more of a cesspit than I even thought before. And today, I'm finding out more stuff every day. You guys send me like, the deepest, darkest pits of humanity, really, on this platform. But anyways, enough of that. So Coffeezilla, I liked his take. I really liked how he brought it about. He has disagreement with Spencer Cornelia, that guy. To be respectful, I agree with Coffeezilla's take on this. So I'm on Coffeezilla's side of things, as if that matters. It doesn't really matter. They're two like titans of YouTube. But in case you were wondering whose side I would take them. And in this instance, I think it's important that we rejoice that there is a champion who has a following, a voice, a reach, like Coffeezilla, with I think it's what is it, 2 million subscribers, 1 million subscribers, whatever it is, it's in the millions. And at least we have someone who was, fighting the good fight. We do have people that fight a really tough fight, right? They're smaller YouTubers, but they're smaller YouTubers, and that's the issue. Coffeezilla is huge, so when he says something, a lot of people listen. So it has a really profound impact, and hopefully the goal, of course, is it has a positive impact on people that maybe were following those people and just now figured out after, let's say, something terrible happened to them, that they lost all their money, which is unfortunate. This is not a good thing. I am always optimistic that YouTube finance will naturally filter itself out through just people learning. And so there's plenty of really good, and this was a question asked by a community member, like who's my favorite creator? All right, so today I have a lot of good creators, but today I want to bring attention to, if you didn't know he exists, Oswath, the Dean of Value Investing. All right, so I want to bring just attention to him today because his YouTube channel is free, right? He's a professor and he does free lectures on YouTube. They can be boring, but he has like for someone who's not studying finance or accounting, I understand that. But for those of you who don't care about that, he has long form content, and I have, disagreements here and there with him, but nothing like major. And it doesn't mean I'm right. He's probably right because he has a lot more experience than I. But as far as the theory goes, it's impeccable, right? And it's as good as you can get, right? So as far as stuff on YouTube, and then you know what? Because I want to name some other ones that I don't talk about much aside from the crew. Like if you want to entertainment and also highlighting the issues with what's going on. You guys already know, I need no introduction. Strongman Personal Finance, Investing with Cole, Echoes from Above, Jay Nagy, of course. Investing Sucks is another one. He's the Canadian one. Kingdom Finance. So those are some just to name a few off the top of my head. But no, Oswath, I'm going to pull up his YouTube channel. This guy, and I'm doing this because this was asked by a community member to please, talk about some YouTubers I like, as if they need a shout out. His channels, of course, this is the light at the end of the tunnel. This is what I'm talking about. So you see his channel, 492,000 subscribers. This is what I'm talking about. It's not all doom and gloom. Of course, Andre Geek has like two something million followers. Like you look at that and you're like, oh crap, like this side is losing. But no, 500,000 subscribers. That's good. That's good. That's the good fight there. And then of course, Coffeezilla's got the million something. Trying to think of another one. Here's another good one. So it's Rob. I think that's his name, Rob Berger. So he's one that is more so for those who are looking for a more practical, very approachable sense to retirement. He's a very good creator as well. Some of you might find it hard to watch. Fair enough. But I think he's good. I think he does more good. His effect on the world is more positive, far more positive than negative. I don't even know if there's a negative, but it's far more positive than there is a negative. So that's another good one. Oswath, good. Rob Berger, good. And I'm naming these because I don't talk about them much. I talk about other ones. And so you guys know who the other ones are. Like, again, I just mentioned them as well. But yeah, so they're all putting up the good fight. So that's kind of summarizing the FTX debacle, the finance YouTubers that... I don't know, man. I don't know. And what's funny is, and I want to highlight this again to you guys, the issue with, let's talk about a certain creator. He's pretty large. You guys know who he is. And his name, I'll just say his name because whatever, you guys know. So Jeremy. Jeremy's issue, or my issue with Jeremy's most recent thing that Strongman has actually brought to light is a classic, let's just say, potentially misleading stance to show the portfolio dollar gains in the way he does. Because, of course, we know that he's generated stupid amounts of money from YouTube and selling courses to you guys. Not to you guys specifically, but to you, YouTube, right? You guys, remember, you guys are voting every time you click on a video, every time you like a video, every time you subscribe, every time, even when you take out your credit card and pay someone like Jeremy, you're basically voting that is, correct. At the present moment in time. And okay, so he's generated a ton of money from that, and that's been his capital to invest in companies like Tattooed Chef, Honest, Voyager Digital. He has some in there that are good, but someone who's just shooting around is going to get somewhat right. And then you look at the ones from before. This is after finding out all this stuff. He's got GoPro. He's got something like Wynn Resorts. I don't think he really understands too much about that one, aside from the fact that he lives in Vegas maybe and goes there. Someone's pointed out to me that he talks a lot about companies that are in his vicinity, so he likes to go and see it. So he takes the Peter Lynch approach, but like completely removes. So like Peter Lynch says, you can one up on Wall Street, you can invest in what you know and stuff like that. So he kind of just goes up to that, and then just the whole rest of the iceberg. Let's say he doesn't pay attention to that. But anyways, not going to teach him because I don't want to. But point being. He showed his portfolio, and Strongman pointed this out beautifully, that it's not showing his percent returns as a total, right? Because your broker does do that. I showed this to you guys in the last portfolio update video. Every broker can show that. And of course, by the way, I'm not selling a product. There's no course. I'm not going to sell a course. There's no course for you. If someone has, for example, by the way, the secret to making tons of money, there's not really a value that you can even put on it, let alone saying like, oh, I'm going to promise you 30% returns per year. And you pay me like, I don't know, at a high point, 20 grand. What was it? I forget what it is. The point is, he didn't show his percent returns. And then Strongman went ahead for us, and he did a rough calculation, but it seems that it seemed like about a 10% return is what he came up with total, compounded over those years, both realized and unrealized, which is pathetic to say the least. Because, of course, of how well the market's performed since then. I think the market's performed about 60% since the beginning of 2019. So, yeah, it is what it is. I forget exactly what the total return of the S&P is, but okay. So that's enough of the rant there. Okay, so capital mindset. Yo pienso que Jeremy no es un estúpido, pero él necesita... You're practicing your Spanish, I see, en contratar compañías muy estables para pump and dump. Yeah, so yeah, he is trying to do that. I think. I don't know. We don't really have concrete evidence of that, but we can assume. Yeah, so shout out to Oswath. Oswath is where I started learning about investing. So look at this. So everyone's coming out and kind of saying, Oswath's been a huge force for good. Again, I think Rob Berger's also been a huge force for good. So these are pretty solid creators. Again, they don't really need a shout out from the likes of me. I'm a very small YouTube channel. But, just acknowledgement of the work they've done and the effort they've put in. Joseph Bubbleson es mi YouTuber favorita porque él es un simpático, carnal, y él no es muy mal persona. Yeah, so Joseph's not a bad person. I agree with that entirely. Joseph, if you're watching this by any chance, people poke fun at you, but it's out of fun. It's out of banter. You pick solid companies. You really do. Joseph, you're watching this. You pick good companies. You just don't pick them appropriately at the right time, and maybe your allocations can be better. But it is what it is, right? You're definitely not another YouTuber that we have in mind that we've been talking about. You're definitely not that. You're on a whole level. If I had to rank you guys, you would be way above. I would give you all my money before I would give that person. So just know that. Chris, if you say they're going to making money no matter what, that's when you've taken the black pill. You've been watching Strongman recently. No, but I'm on the verge. I got to tell you, I'm on the verge, but I still have that little bit of faith. Yo tengo tres quesadillas. I Spanish too, Fabio. I Spanish too. What about Chuck Carnival? Chuck Carnival's good. I just only mentioned two. There could be a huge list, by the way. There could be a huge list. There's in terms of look, okay, I'm gonna name a couple more because we're already at it. Again, these are additional ones. Chuck Carnival's pretty good. He's more focused on like using a different strategy, by the way. So all these guys have different strategies. There's also Gen X dividend investor, very boring guy. He's not boring. I don't think he's boring, but I'm saying for the wider audience, like why he's not bigger is probably because he's boring. But I think very valuable. He's an older investor. He's from the Gen X generation. So Gen Z and millennials, you guys should just check him out and see what you're capable of. I think he shows the dollar figures. He's comfortable with doing that, and it's at like a $2 million. And so you can kind of see more or less how much money one can really accumulate over a lifetime, and then how that can really impact your retirement, right? So you get to see that phase of life. Same with Rob Berger, by the way. Rob Berger gives you a similar glance, right? But Gen X dividend investor's a pretty good one. Then you have trying to think of the other one's name. It'll come to me. So is Chuck Carnival the fast graphs guy? Yeah, so he created fast graphs. So if you're, he produces at least good, sound thought process, I'll say the least. Again, different strategy, but you find your own strategy, and that's like the part of the journey as an investor, which is something that's been like the core message of Capital Mindset, because it's capital mindset, but it's not my mindset. I don't want you to have my mindset. I want you to build your own mindset. And whatever that mindset is hopefully tailored to yourself, right? So you build it, and I want you to build your own mindset. And that's how you end up being free. And by the way, everyone's mindset can vary drastically. Like some people, for the vast majority of people, you will come to the conclusion that dollar cost averaging into index funds in your tax advantage accounts is just the way to go, and everything else, let it go. And then maybe you like to talk about stocks for fun, and you do it with a small portion of your portfolio, and that's why you watch channels like me. I don't know. Or watch channels like the ones we mentioned. I don't know. Rob Berger is going to be more that index fund investor, by the way. That's, again, why bringing him to light here, because it's really that whole strategy there. Again, aside from the ones that I usually collaborate with and talk with. So Plain Bagel. Well, Plain Bagel is going to talk to you more about concepts. He's going to break down news for you. So that's I didn't mention him, but he's good for that kind of stuff. But he'll break down like the news and hopefully a basic and easy digest, because that's what he is, the Plain Bagel. If you're not going to get something crazy in depth with him, but you're going to get a plain bagel, which is his name is perfect for what he is, and he's exactly addressing that market, and he deserves to be the size he is, because that's exactly what he's doing, grabbing a tough concept sometimes and then just trying to break it down, so where someone who's never seen a balance sheet, never seen an income statement or anything like that, can kind of get an idea of what the heck's going on, and that's perfect. We need someone like that. We already talked about Coffeezilla, yeah. So, but yeah, Coffeezilla is good. Okay, so Sven, I don't want this to turn into a roast session. That's not the point of my channel. But if you want my unfiltered opinions, I feel like Seth has really gone off the deep end. I think the incentives for him are, more aligned with, his research platform. So, I don't know. It makes sense. It's not I don't know. It's not that it's like a strange thing to me. All right. And Amora has an impressive communication method of personal finance topics. I think Brian Fruley is shady. I don't know who those people. You see, I don't know who any of those people are. Those are all new names to me. So you guys, I don't know how you guys know all these different YouTubers. It's crazy how many of them there are. It's absolutely ridiculous. Maybe not shady, but the portfolio dumped at the worst time and the reset his portfolio to zero and then just dumped again. Who are you talking about? Oh, Brian Frill. Oh, yeah. I don't know who he is. I don't mind Brian. Oh, you see, who are these people? Yeah, Motley Fool. Yeah, F Motley Fool. Okay. Well, the Motley Fool's website is, that's all I'm going to say there. But yeah, so if there are any other questions you guys want to ask, let me know, and then I'll be happy to answer them. But as far as like kind of going forward, the portfolios, I'm pretty excited. The second phase of how I'm allocating my assets, I think it's pretty interesting, and it's kind of like going into the further step of the liquidity crunch. That if you're new to the channel, you have lots of videos to go through. Many mentions of liquidity crunch over time. Is Motley Fool a grifter? Again, define grifter, small scale swindling. I don't know. They're offering you a product. They're selling you a product. Is it a grift? I have no idea. I think sometimes the word grifter now is being a little bit too stretched sometimes, but and then that's unfortunate, by the way, because you don't want the word to stretch. Okay, it's like using. It's like in the United States how the word fascist is actually very stretched now, to the point where the word actually doesn't even have any meaning, because you take the textbook word or the textbook definition, and then you see where it's sometimes being applied to, and it sometimes doesn't make too much sense. So even with the word grifter, if we are not careful and we dilute the word, and then it loses its impact. And so we don't want that either. So we want to be very directed when we use that word. So there are plenty of them, and we've talked about a decent number of them right here. Again, just keeping it to its word, small-scale swindling. And maybe if we leave the measure of small scale and we do a large scale, now it's something else. Maybe we can just call it straight-up scamming. I don't know. The grift is hidden behind a paywall, so we can't tell them out or call them out because we can't see what's going on. No, but these nuts, I've mentioned some channels here. So if D's nuts, you probably know D's nuts. Come on, I've seen you around, and I'm saying your name. So I'm gonna put up your name to the live stream so people see I'm not just calling you that word. That's your name. But you can check out Strongman Personal Finance, and he's actually been posting inside content from a certain YouTuber, and you can be the judge for yourself whether or not he is or is not. But there's other YouTubers doing the same thing. I haven't, but I've seen it. People send me the things, but I don't post the content per se. Oh, I think you're talking about the Motley Fool. Oh, I have no idea about the Motley Fool. Yeah, I don't pay them. So yeah, if you're talking about the Motley Fool, yeah, I have no idea. All right, I was a subscriber for a year. Didn't take me that long to find out they'd lose all my money. Pretty much just recommend all of Kathy Wood stocks. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So that's the strategy. That's why I'm saying like this whole thing has been going around for a very long time. And it's before these guys, it's been the Motley Fool. It's been everyone, right? It's always been this thing. And retail has always been subjected to these traps per se, and by the way, to some extent we have to blame retail. I'm sorry, it has to be said, retail has to be blamed to some extent. So there's only so much we can say where we're hand holding, or they should be handheld until we say, okay, well, come on, man, like, did you really think that it's that easy? Like, you seriously think it's like, oh, I just pay this person and now all of a sudden I get just great returns, and why doesn't just everyone do this? Like, oh, just that guy, Bill Ackman or Warren Buffett or they're all just much morons. They could just pay the Motley Fool, and I don't know. Man's been dying. Who's dying? Let's see here. Belly Delphi specializes in. Oh, I'm not going to say the rest of that. Yeah, BlackBerry. So I mean it's pretty normal. I think it's like people are I don't know. No, it's just the portfolio, but you can kind of get an idea from the previous percentage allocations that I mentioned in the past. It is meaningful. It is very meaningful now. So that's the whole point of why I decided to stop doing the portfolio updates. But members of the community were brought up to my attention that the whole idea is that you guys are hopefully don't prove me wrong on that. You guys are different. You guys don't just go, oh, he bought this, therefore we're gonna buy. And I'm still a small channel. I don't know if I would have come back if I was a really large channel. Not come back. I was still gonna do videos, but like put these videos out publicly if I was a much larger channel, because then at that point it's like, no, it's impossible to really determine that. But yeah, so I let you guys decide. I put it up to the vote, and you guys overwhelmingly voted yes, over 90%. And I think I think I should have upped the ante there, because I said 100 votes, and you guys put like over 300. I think, yeah, 300 something votes. Something crazy. Any thoughts on Peru Saxena? You familiar with him? No, not familiar with him. Highly recommend Finance Creator. Okay, I don't know if that's a troll, Ricky. But I guess everyone can type her name and find out. Because I've been wronged by, not you specifically, but I've been trolled by one of you. Fabio, you should look into funeral stocks. I mean, heaven stocks. No, don't worry. I mean, you've been doing all the digging into the funeral stocks kingdom, and no, I get it. Right now, the one you picked is pretty good. By the way, everyone, check out Kingdom of Finance. He does videos as well, and he's been doing some research onto a company called Park Lawn Corporation, a Canadian funeral home company. That, if I'm being honest, we had this discussion, but it's one of the best capitalized ones when you compare them to the American variants. The other one, Service Corporation, SCI, also pretty good, but not as good as Park Lawn in terms of how it's capitalized. So, Peru is the guy that was in the oh my God. Okay, so never mind. So you see, this is what I'm talking about, where you guys bring forth all the utter degeneracy out there on the internet. So let me actually, can someone, Andrew, can you send it to me on Discord, the pictures, and I'll pull them up? Or actually, let me go on his Twitter. Is it on his Twitter or did he delete it? Here. Okay, so, well, this is not him. This is the joke account. So just so you know, this is the joke account, and I had this kind of, I don't know why I had this saved. Why did I have this saved? Anyways, doesn't matter. Point is, this is the joke account of that guy. That guy's called Peru. What is his full name? Yeah, Peru Saxena. And so Pedro Saxena. This is, again, joke account. And it's basically created just to make fun of this guy, Peru Saxena. So Peru Saxena, unfortunately, did something pretty insane at one point. I think, yeah, what was he did? He was in all high-tech growth this year. He got absolutely destroyed. And then he switched over right before the run-up in the market, and he shorted it. So let this be a lesson. Like, again, no one should be following anyone. But like, this is an example to watch, and as you build out your own capital, we're using the name of the channel. You build out your own capital mindset. You can watch this guy and be like, oh, that was a huge mistake. So what is the lesson to be learned here? The lesson from this guy, Peru Saxena, let's actually, can we, let me see if he's, I'm just looking through this to see, like, these ones. But anyways, point being, and I don't know how this is going to age. This is probably not going to age very well. Just saying. But what we learned there is timing the market is a terrible idea. And another point lesson in timing the market is a lot of the returns in the market happen just from a couple days of the year, which is why it's best. And this is something, I'm not going to call you out by name at all. I never do that. But members of the community, some of you, I've seen you talk in a way that seems like you're trying to time the market. And you're going to find, and I think you're newer to the markets. You know who you are. If it sounds like you know I'm talking about you, but indirectly, respectfully. I'm not going to name you by name. But timing the market is a bad idea. And you're going to find out as you try it, because I think me saying don't do it and then you doing it is two completely different things. You're going to try it anyways. That's just how it is. You're going to find out that it's a losing battle. You're far more likely to make mistakes. And if you're somehow right this time, that's a bad thing, because that's going to encourage you, and you're going to think, you're going to get this thought's going to cross your mind. Holy F, I am the next Warren Buffett. Next time, I'm going to do it with, I don't know, leverage or something crazy like that. So, how do I know if this sounds like me? I have no personal introspection. Slurpees. That's funny, but it's not. I don't think it's you. It's not you. I'm like 99.999% sure it's not you. Dare me, Fabio. We're all better shorting the market. Dare me. No. I'm not going to be daring you. But yeah, again, so it's better. That's why to be just invested. You can change like your strategy. That's not timing the market. That's two different things. But basically, one good way to put kind of a theory behind timing the market is like, you think that's a good investment, but you're going to wait because you think it's going lower. That's like timing. That's basically like timing. So you want to get invested, like you want to invest in the stock market, but you're going to wait because you think it's going, that's timing the market. Okay. Or you think that's a good stock to buy like right now, but you're going to wait because you think it's going to go lower. Now you're kind of, gambling. Maybe there's a specific catalyst that you're pointing to for that specific stock, but I highly doubt, for the whole market, that you're going to be very successful at it. I don't know. So I see the jokes are coming in. I am the next Warren Buffett. Yeah. So you guys are the next Warren Buffetts. Warren Buffett probably thought he was the next Warren. Yeah, that's probably true. That's a good comment. Warren Buffett probably thought he was the next Warren Buffett. Yeah. He probably did. That's true. It takes a motivated, petty person to make a Twitter just for that. Yes, it does, but it's hilarious. I don't know. It's absolutely hilarious. All right, so let me find the what's his name? Let me pull up his name. Peru Saxena. All right, so Peru. I always forget his first name. Saxena, sorry. So Peru, and then he should come up first. So this guy, apparently he's like a really funny guy to follow because of his timing. And so there's people like that. Again, not out of like spite or anything, but Joseph, my man, your timing is impeccable so far. So like what I said to the community is I really do hope that Meta gets like to like a new low or something. It has to like it has to get to a new low because it cannot be that was a low. It cannot be. It literally cannot be that's the low. Because if it is, like, gosh, I mean, like, that just, I don't know. It'll be funny, but, like, unfortunately funny. So, he deleted his tweets. Dang it. All right, so we're not going to see anything funny from this guy. Open the Coca-Cola 10K from 1980 and figure out why Warren Buffett YOLO'd that stock. Well, that's for Jay Nagy. Go watch Jay Nagy for that. Let me find them. All right, yeah, if you send them to me, I got to keep Discord open then because that way, because otherwise it's not going to let me know. Discord's silent as soon as I start recording. I like it. It's a good feature that it does that, but, someone messaged me on Discord. I'm so happy Meta is 30% of your portfolio. I don't know if you should be happy. Could be terrible. We have no idea. We have no idea how that's going to turn out. It could be absolutely horrendous. Of course, I don't think so, over a longer term, and I'm really happy with the price. But, oh, yeah, so here it is. Thank you for sending me the image. And, he's sending me all the images. Look at this. We're going to be blessed with some images today. So we're gonna use Bing. We're going to be a little bit different here. But here we go. So mid-month portfolio snapshot. Long all of this. Oh, and the timing is important. 10/14/2022. And then he shorted NDX and futures, and that's Lucid. I think it's Lucid. And then there's this other one. So open link. Here we go. So thanks. I made a mess of 2022. What date is this? I don't know what the date this is. I think. Oh, okay. So there's this. Oh, that guy's hilarious. Dr. Parikh Patel. Oh, funny guy. This is the biggest bottom signal out there. Oh, that's actually really funny. Okay, so the date here is 11/7/2022. Oh, because okay. So that's important for the context, and that's 1 day ago, and the guy's responding. So it's basically around that time. Thanks. I made a mess of 2022. Too early to reinvest. Didn't see the persistent inflation / Russia war and fought the Fed. You had plenty of time to see. Well, anyways, whatever. It's not the war. The war is not like the reason, but it is what it is. So because he's been on CNBC, so I can kind of poke fun of him a little bit more than I would a retail investor. But I've seen the light now, and I've made adjustments. No. Wrong time. Now is actually when you start to look forward and maybe think about making readjustments to your previous investments. So no. You don't join the trade now. So anyways, but he's doing something that's very dangerous on top of that, shorting, which I don't short. I rarely, if any, ever do short. But anyways, can you please share your adjustments? Cash, so basically he sold everything. That's what that means. Cash, he sold the portfolio. Again, this is the portfolio. Boom. All of these stocks. He was long all these stocks, and he was short all these stocks. And now he's sold everything, so he's in cash, and he's short NDX futures. And then I guess he gets mad here. He's like, if me shorting the bottom signal, then why don't you go long with leverage? What? And we'll assess in 3 to 4 months. Good luck. Okay, so even if that's the case, like, reassessing in 3 to 4 months doesn't actually okay, he's addressing it from a trade. I don't know. Hopefully it does well for him. I don't want him to lose money, but it's just for fun and games. It's just funny at this point. All you do is run into an anonymous account and troll others. If me changing my portfolio positioning and aligning myself for the coming recession is your bottom signal, then go ahead and super long with max leverage. We'll see who got it right in early 2023. Okay, so that is true, by the way. Like, you don't want, but the thing is, that's so irresponsible. Going full out, it could turn out well, but going full out, if that's actually what you're doing, full cash in NDX futures. Okay, the cash is lowering that volatility, but shorting NDX, I don't know. I don't know how much it is, but like I don't know if that's it's unnecessary risk. Like there's other ways to position yourself. Again, as a community, we've been talking about that, and we're gonna have the call tomorrow where we again talk about 5 Krona. You're supposed to fall asleep. What are you doing on here? You're supposed to be asleep. Oh, okay, you're making it my job to put you to sleep. All right, so we're gonna talk about bonds. No, I'm kidding. But when is alcohol mindset? I can't do alcohol mindset, Fuhat, for obvious reasons. Alcohol mindset has no place on the internet. Maybe in like 5-10 years, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, we call that grave dancing. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, so I can see it. He's probably doing a trade. So basically, but he's going like all in on this trade. So he reduced. But the thing is, it looks really bad right now. It might look, I don't know, good, but it's like unnecessary risk. Like we talk about this as a community. Like there's investments that you can do that are unnecessary risk. Why? There's less volatile ways to play it. So that's like almost like going. I can talk about it now because now it's not the time to invest in it. So don't do it. But like it's like triple leverage shorting U.S. Treasuries. But like it's like going all in with your portfolio. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's undue risk. You don't need to. You can make it a smaller portion of the portfolio, or like buying a company like ASPS or something like that. Going all in on ASPS because you're bearish on the housing market. Why not just like have your regular portfolio and then have exposure to it where it's still meaningful? And because that's all about, or this is like the thing that we talk about where it's portfolio allocation is like an art and a science. Like there's actually someone in the community who asked really good questions as of late. Some literature that exists on portfolio sizing, right? Or portfolio position sizing. So there's a bunch of different academic theories as far as how it should be handled. And then there's also kind of people who are of the opinion that, that's overcomplicating things and you're focusing too much on something that, you should really be spending more time focusing on the actual investments. So I would kind of lean on my personal opinion now. It's a personal opinion, is that I think it's of it as more of an art and a science. Like it's a mix of two things. And sometimes, you lean more on your artsy side than and artsy side just means that it's more of not gut feeling, but it's personal. So it's not like a one size fits all for everyone. It's like, okay, but for you, what makes you feel comfortable with that? Well, that sounds like it's a gut feeling, but what would make you not act irrationally? What size of the portfolio could it be where you know that you wouldn't act irrationally? And then it takes also honesty with yourself, right? Because you can be like, oh yeah, I went like 1.2 million in Tattooed Chef, and I'm totally not going to lose sleep over that. You guys know who I'm talking about. I couldn't help it. The guy put $1.2 million in Tattooed Chef. Let that sink in. $1.2 million in Tattooed Chef, and he has the gall to show that he made a measly like $200,000. Oh, okay, buddy. Yeah. Oh, that's you're the next Buffett. Thoughts on Skyworks Solutions? And yes, I know it's a bad thing. Jeremy owns it. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so Skyworks Solutions, we talked about it as a community. There are people in the community who know far more than I do about semiconductors. So their knowledge like far eclipses mine in this space. And I gotta say, so from what I've learned about semis is that RF is one thing that I'd want to find out is the retention of their employees. This is what I'm kind of learning to appreciate more. How much are they returning those employees, and what's the age pool of their talent, of their current employees? Because RF engineers are a dying breed, so to speak, which makes it problematic, especially since Skyworks Solutions, it's like that's their thing, RF, radio frequency. So yeah, makes it a bit problematic. But I remember looking at Skyworks Solutions. I think now they've actually destroyed their balance sheet. We're going into like the downward trend of this the cyclical side of semiconductors, and yeah, we'll see how the Intel play goes, but me and Everything Money, we both own Intel, right? Paul from Everything Money. But you see the difference is we own at a vastly different prices. And that's going to actually determine the difference in our return, obviously. So I used to own Intel a while ago, and we sold for a tiny little profit, accidental trade, because I disagreed with management. Then I reversed that position pretty recently. So AMD is also part of the portfolio, and Qualcomm is also part of the portfolio. Together, they are my semiconductor exposure. They are all going through that downward cyclical part, and I'm going to be looking at the memory side to kind of, I don't know, determine whether or not we're getting close to the end of the storm, so to speak. Capital Minds, I think that's actually a good discussion point. I think too many guys have a hero complex and need to do something too, what I call cute, to maximize returns. Yeah, and I don't think so. So like, for example, if I have this, okay, so I have this thesis that I'm not going over in this video, but some of you know, because again, this is not a publicly traded stock, but it is something that's publicly traded, but it's not a stock, it's not a traditional investment vehicle. So I have this thesis. If I really do believe in it, which I really do believe in it, and I've gone over like my macro thesis with you guys, well, why not go all into this? The returns can be absolutely incredible hypothetically, right? Well, I'm not trying to be cute. My main priority is capital preservation. I want decent, good exposure where, again, I won't mentally make the wrong decision. I won't, not sleep well at night, so to speak. And I have positioned myself accordingly, which is, again, why we are in a completely different situation. Like, I don't know your situation. You don't even know my situation. We don't know each other's situation. Therefore, we can't invest the same way. So you have to find your own way. Maybe I can inspire you to, find your own path. And that's the hope. So again, I'm putting back these portfolio updates, but you guys as my audience, you guys now have the responsibility to maintain yourselves. I know a lot of you are great. Like, you guys are good like that. But anyone new joining, remember that, okay? Build your own mindset. So another example is Paul and Fabio are one and the same. Yes, we are one and the same. All right, let me see. So some of these comments. So Hayden's asking, he's down 250K in that account on TTCF alone. Oh my gosh, that is insane. But the thing is, the non-public account, that's the one where you put the 1.2 mil, and that's where the huge bleed is happening. But I'm a billionaire. Remember next Buffett? Duh. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Fabio uses 9-pillar analysis. Micron, yeah, your question to Micron, that's a company you might want to be looking at. Samsung as well. He made back in. Yeah, he made that back, definitely back in ad revenue. The guy makes like 50K per month, I think, in ad revenue. It's something crazy. If Capital Mindset is realizing that your mindset is smarter than mine, so therefore I must copy. Capital Mindset, and that your mindset is smarter than mine, so therefore I must copy. No. Fabiola, when is LG? I'm not covering LG soon, but it's something I could. Paul and Jeremy did the fusion dance. To turn into Fab. No, please, guys, no. Don't say that. Have your own path is key. I'm 58% up overall since March 2020 when I started in the green. And green year to date. I don't follow anyone but myself, for good or for worse. Hey, that's pretty good. It's pretty good performance. So I don't actually know what mine is up since March, but I'm about 60, 64, 63, 65% year to date since tail end of 2019. So that's including the downtrend in March or so. So that's pretty good performance on your part. To differentiate himself, Fabio decided to put 6 or 7 businesses downstairs. Yeah, incredible. Bobby, can you look at Motorola stock? Unironically, it's decent. Really? Okay, we'll look at it. Enough looking at this degenerate over here. So Motorola stock. This will be the last thing, and then I'll close out because this is meant to be more questions on this stuff. All right. Actually, like, what the heck? It's performed really well. Like in the past 5 years, I think that's, what was that, market beating returns? Yeah, that's market beating returns past 5 years. That's crazy. All right, I'll take a look at it. You have the only live stream I've ever been that cuts to commercials live. Huh. Puru has Sachs. Oh, yeah, he does. That's his last name. I don't know why the tubers don't just buy the S&P. With that income, they could literally have generational wealth. I would just be 100% SPY or VOOs, the other one, which with a lower expense ratio. But yeah, no. I would agree. When you're making, well, I don't know, because to be honest, that I'd be probably trying to find, if I had, that was like the kind of monthly income each month, and I was in their position, and I don't have anything else. Yeah, I mean, there's so many other things you can start, really, but I think it's their business, and that's kind of why. I don't know. I'm trying to understand the ununderstandable. Do you like railroad stocks? No, not right now, Rob. But I like the companies. I just don't like the stocks right now. Thoughts on tips to play rates? No. No, that's not. No, not to play rates, not tips for me. And that's not how I'm playing rates. My knowledge of semiconductors is as good as Paul in evaluating. Oh, so basically nothing. Soon enough. Exited for. Oh, you're asking. You guys are talking to each other. JC, my portfolio is ruined. I just went all in TTCF in my allocation. I know you're joking, Armando. But that would be unfortunate if that was the case. Okay, guys. Oh, I just realized I did not do the. Oh no, I did do it. Okay, I thought I didn't do the. Not Kevin O'Leary. Yeah, the Kevin O'Leary. But anyways, any final minute questions about the portfolio? Anything you guys want me to show you real quick? Any questions about any allocations I've made? Let me know. Otherwise, forever hold your peace until the next one. And then I'm going to go eat because I'm hungry. I am starving. But we'll see. We'll see. Because, okay, so let's just have some fun here. What do I think is going to happen Monday? Ooh, what's going to happen Monday? I don't know. Maybe we get a pullback. There we go. There's a pullback, you buy my course. And then I'll say this. I don't know. Maybe there's a rally. Now I'm going to have 2 courses available, right? Depending what happens. And then if it goes up, I sell that course. If it goes down, I sell the other course. That's what's going to happen. Why am I eating so late? Because I was working all day and I forgot to eat. And that's kind of what happens. So I'm starving now. Do you plan to start accumulating MPW or still on the speculative side? No, it's on the speculative side. I'm focusing on my high conviction plays. That's it. So the speculative ones are gone. I play the first 9. Genius, take my money. He said someone for someone else. What would happen to Sam Brokeman fraud? I don't know. Maybe he's going to go to jail. I don't know. Fablio. I love Fuhat's names for me. Fuhat's names are always very creative. You know what? How about let's make it a quote unquote date, guys. Next Saturday. What's the date next Saturday? Oh wait, no. Next Saturday I'm busy. Next Friday, next Saturday I'm very busy. Can't do anything that day. But let's do another Saturday in the future, and we'll do like old time's sakes. We'll do a subscriber live stream where anyone can come on and talk. We'll do that. So can I buy puts in SBF somehow, or is that not allowed? I don't think so. I will never drink water. No, I'm going to drink water while I eat, even though it's not the best. The 24-hour live stream will happen after the last CPA exam is done, Julius. Once the final CPA exam is done, which will probably be after busy season, then we shall do the 24-hour live. Capital Minds, you sold BOC? No, it's still in there. No, that's one of the ones I'm keeping. There's very few. I don't like to talk about it because I like that statistic about it having very few shareholders. I don't want many shareholders. I want it to be very few shareholders. But yeah, we are the 9-hour stream vets. Yeah, for those of you who are old enough in subscribers to remember the 9 hours and 40-minute live stream we did. Complete utter degeneracy. One for the ages. Fubo, ¿cuál es tu opinión de Coca-Cola? FEMSA, me gusta la compañía porque México es muy gordo. That is an interesting thesis about fat Mexicans, but no, I wouldn't invest in Coca-Cola just because the obesity rate in Mexico is so high. Now the bottler of Coca-Cola is actually pretty good. All right, so so that's pretty much the final questions I see. So on that note, guys, I'm gonna leave you guys on that. You guys have been a great audience as always. We are closing the stream off at 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it's crazy that we have 62 people here at this time. That's crazy. All right, so you guys can get some rest. I'm gonna get some rest. I'm gonna get some good food. McBuddha's in here. McBuddha saw the head and tail of that stream. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, that 9 hour and 40-minute stream. Yeah, he went to bed. He woke up. We were still streaming. No, but we've done that in the Discord too with the calls. You guys, I've been sometimes because you guys get me talking and then boom, 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 and then another person comes on and another person comes on and then other people go to bed and then it can get crazy. All right, if you guys enjoyed the stream, feel free to leave a like. You know, if you guys, had fun and thought the stream was good. If you're not subscribed and you liked what you saw, you can subscribe for more content. You don't have to subscribe because maybe you didn't like it, and then this will be the only time I see you for the rest of your life, which is fine too. And, don't forget that, don't forget those YouTubers that did that thing. Don't forget them. Even though they probably will, people will forget, and they'll move on. It is what it is. All right, guys. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. F***ing thing sucks.
Yeah.